If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is May the 30th, 2022, and today the topic is flaws and all. Happy Monday, everyone, and happy Memorial Day. I hope that you all had a great weekend. Mine was just fine. Man, I cannot complain, man. This weekend was rather nice, I must say. Y'all know that on Saturday, me and my family, we went to go celebrate the release of El Zumo. And we did everything I intended to do, you know. I wanted to go get Mexican food. Hubby took me to go get Mexican food. There was a particular restaurant that I wanted to go to. We went there. Um, I got what I wanted to eat. Um, I intended to give away 3 copies of the El Zumo, right? But I only gave out one because there was only one gentleman that stopped by that, uh, I guess spoke Spanish. I was told that there was other people there in the restaurant, but they didn't come by our tables. So I still have a couple of extra copies of El Zumo on hand. I can maybe do an online giveaway or something, or I can just keep it for my display. We'll see. We'll see. But yep, Saturday looked the way that I had hoped and anticipated that it would look. It was a nice sunny day. Those of you all that follow me on social media, then you probably already saw photos and whatnot, some video from that day. Shout out to Boomer Smith for challenging your girl to give y'all more content out of the studio content, I guess I should say. Yeah. I mean, now y'all know I used to do this vlog. I called it Miracles Mirror. And I was doing that back in like 2017, 2018, kind of. I kind of paused when I got pregnant because I don't know. I just didn't want the stress of the unknown when it came to pregnancy, plus trying to edit videos and all that stuff. I just was like, but who knows? Now that I have Boomer on board, I mean, that could be another thing that I, throw at him, y'all. So if y'all want to see some more behind the scenes slash Miracle Sims live content, y'all want me to bring Miracle's Mirror back for season 3, then hit your girl up, throw some likes, throw some comments, and then we'll throw some donations. so I can hire and solicit Boomer to edit it for me, and I get y'all all the video content that I can, because my hubby, y'all saw some clips of him on Saturday, but he act funny about the camera, which is so funny because our son is the opposite. He's a ham. Um, so, but anyway, I can go on and on about that, but yeah, so if y'all want to see more content like that, then let us know, yeah, let us know. Yeah, that's what Saturday looked like for the most part. And then Sunday, I did something that I guess I haven't done in a little while. I think, if I'm not mistaken, with the exception of going to visit places, because we haven't went and visit places since the pandemic. But I believe that was my first time going back to Mountain West, the church that I was, I guess, frequenting before the pandemic. I believe yesterday was our first time going back since the pandemic. Little man and I went, and it happened to just be a good day because they did a special children's dedication, so there was families that was dedicated their children back to the Lord yesterday. I got a chance to see the new pastor at because last time I was there, Pastor Michael was still preaching. So it's been a while since I've been been at Mountain West. I don't even remember the gentleman's name. But he did well. Honestly, it didn't feel any different. I know a friend of mine was asking about, like, since there's a new pastor, like, did it feel different? I'm like, not necessarily. I mean, it still felt like Mountain West to me. It was always good vibes every time I went there. I just think, you know, well, I told y'all before, like, this whole meat versus milk concept, and I was just really, really seeking. I would want to say over the past few years, really, really seeking content centered around like what we're actually going through, and there were just pastors online that I guess fulfilled that need for me, as well as GSL and all of this kind of, feels like fellowship to me. It feels like church, Um, but it's something to be said about, actually gathering in a place, actually, being surrounded by other believers in one building and whatnot. There is something beautiful about that, and I can never deny that. Um, I hope that this thing is still recording because the screen just went out on me. So I don't know what is going on with StreamYard. The very interesting thing is, speaking of that, since I'm just going to keep going here, the interesting thing is that I felt led to kind of wait until 5:35 to start recording. And the interesting thing is I was getting ready to press live and then the screen went black and it was doing what it's just doing just now. I don't know if y'all see it or not, those of y'all that are watching me live, but again, I'm gonna keep on going in Jesus' name. We gonna keep on with this little whatever the Lord gave me this morning. I don't know if I should call it a message or whatever, but yeah, I'm gonna keep and going forth with that. Which is very interesting as well because I want to say like right before I was getting ready to like put the show notes or the go deeper section together for y'all. Um, I got a little bit distracted and came across something on social media that kind of made me be like on one hand wanting to respond, but on the other hand, it's like again, man, I feel like those that are like gifted and skilled to do apologetics and go back and forth with people and whatnot, that's for them. I don't necessarily feel like that's me. Um, but I mean, hey, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I saw some questionable things being posted in reference to Jesus. I'll put it like that. And I just was like, really? Because even if we want to, like, how can we deny Christ when the whole Bible points towards Christ? Um, and then it's like, I don't know. We can just go back and forth with people about like that, but people really struggle with this idea of Jesus being the only way, man. But that's what the Bible says. So I don't know how we can get anything else from it. Um, on one hand, it's like you want to take parts of the Bible and be like, yes, yes, let's focus on this part, but it's like, but you want to leave Jesus out. It reminds me of another quote I saw this morning, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was last night, but I think it was this morning, and it was saying that you know that any doctrine that basically doesn't point towards Christ, let it be accursed. um, Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing. Y'all can go look up the verse for yourself. But yeah, yeah. But anywho, again, I'm gonna keep on going because I know the screen is flashing on in and out, on and off, whatever it's doing on my end. I hope it's not doing that for y'all. But anywho, so the interesting thing this morning about the topic for today, I woke up to the sound of my alarm. Well, I woke up like right like a skosh before my alarm went off. And so when it went off, I was just like, what? I had to remind myself that the weekend was over. I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, today is Monday. Um, so, yeah. And I know I did a prayer meditation. I remember it being good. I don't remember what it was about at the moment because, again, I've been engulfed with my mind in flaws and all. Um, but I'm trying to think, like, what got me to thinking about this. I can't remember at the moment. But I will say it whatever it was, it got me reflecting on my husband and I. It got me reflecting on like when we met and like some things he said and did and vice versa. You know, I know one of the funny things when we met, um, and I guess when we like started to really, really gravitate towards each other, we just was like, man, where have you been? Where have you been? um, and everything like that. I know there was this moment where um well, those of you all that know my story, I told y'all that we had a good old chat. I want to say like I don't know if it was the first time we talked. I think it might have been the first time we talked. We had a good old chat about my ex because of it being such a like technically it was a fresh breakup, but not really because again, if you hear my story and my testimony about it, basically, long story short, you know, I just knew it wasn't going to work months prior, and um, but it just took a longer time to just adjust to the reality, so because sometimes you just try to hold on, sometimes you just try to you know you hope that things will change and all those different things, especially women, but I mean men do it too. um when you like someone or love someone or want the best for the person and whatever the case is, you hold on to the possibility, right? You hold on to the what was the word, the potential. You hold on to the potential of that person. But yeah, so when I met my now husband, um, that prior relationship was technically was like a fresh breakup, but yeah. Anyway, so there was something he said around that time, like when we kind of first was together and just kind of again getting to know each other and all that type of stuff. He just was like, oh, how did he say it? He just like, um, you know what? That phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure. It was kind of like that. Like he didn't. My husband didn't say that, but he, whatever he said reminded me of that. Right? It just was like one of those things where I could tell that he. I mean, well, I don't know if I could. I don't know. Could I tell that he loved me then? Maybe. Um, but definitely, that he liked me a lot, regardless of like what he had heard about me, regardless of like, what I was telling him that I had just went through, regardless of my flaws, right? Um, it was like he appreciated every aspect of me, um, which was nice. It was nice and refreshing, especially after a relationship that critiqued and nitpicked every aspect of me. um, so yeah. So I was reminded of that this morning, and I'm even reminded of our son, because I mean I know there's times where I might hurt his little feelings, right? Because I tell him no, and I be a parent, and I be a mom, and I do all the things that moms and parents are supposed to do, or at least I try to, and everything like that, and he gets disciplined. But every morning, thus far, every morning, like when he sees me, you know, he shows some type of gratitude. He shows some type of good morning, mommy. This is like a fresh, renewed love that's just unconditional. Um, and yeah, these are two earthly examples, right? Two earthly examples of this type of love that just loves you, flaws and all, right? Loves you in spite of flaws. But how much more does God love us in that way? Um, I guess that's what the question was for me this morning, and that's what I decided to go deeper about in regards to this concept of flaws and all. So when I looked up the definition of flaw, it says a mark, fault, or other imperfection that mars a substance or object. And then the second definition I came across says mar, weaken, or invalidate something. So yeah, who feels like this? Does anybody feel like any of this represents them? Do you feel weak in any aspect? Do you feel invalidated in any aspect? Do you feel imperfect, or do you find fault in yourself, or all these different things? I think all of us may have felt this one way or another. Um, But does God still love us in spite of? I mean, I would say that the answer is yes, based on what was done for us. Uh, like the words say, while we were yet sinners, Jesus died for us, you know. Um, but yeah, so basically, I ended up getting led to Jeremiah 18 today after looking up verses centered around this concept. And even though there were several verses that stood out to me, and the whole thing, well, the entire thing is in the Go Deeper section, so I hope that you all read the entire thing. But what really stood out to me this morning is Jeremiah 18:4-6. And it says, "And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again, another vessel, and seemed good to the potter to make it. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Oh, oh, how, I don't know, y'all, sorry. Oh, something of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith the Lord? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel." Oh, that's what it was. Oh, house of Israel. um, yeah. So basically, if you read the entire account that Jeremiah is sharing with us here, is talking about that God basically sent him to this potter's house, I guess, like that, and to kind of reveal something to him. And what he saw was a potter working with clay, and it was marred in the potter's hand, but he used it to create another vessel. You can still be used. That's what I'm getting in this. That's what stood out to me this morning in that verse, is that you can still be used by God. In spite of your flaws, in spite of your weaknesses. Um, yeah, and I guess the other thing that stood out to me to share this morning is Romans 3:23. It says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." So again, friends, I mean, again, that's a very humbling thing that should, that evens out the playing field. Because outside of Jesus, right, there's no perfect human. The word says no, not one. So, like that verse says, all have sinned and fallen short. So if we just understand that, right, and get that into our hearts and minds, then hopefully that'll help us receive this unconditional love that God shows us a little better. Hopefully that helps us receive it a little better, because we're all flawed, and we all have weaknesses. We've all sinned and fallen short. So, but does that make us undeserving of love? Does that make us undeserving of God's grace and mercy? No, not according to him. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the juice. That's the juice this morning. And I hope that it encourages you and inspires you. Plenty other verses in the Go Deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But yeah. The Bible verse of today is John 15:13. It says, "Greater love hath no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
This has been brought to you in part by Anointed Touch Health, Fitness, and Beauty. Eat right and exercise daily. Walk with God. Run from the devil. 1 John 20:20. You have an anointing from the Holy One. Visit anointedtouch-hfb.com for more information.